Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mitt podcast, episode number 169. And in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down how to actually convert negative energy into wins. How quickly we can all bounce back from a loss, from a stressful situation, from something that someone said about us, or even someone cutting us off and almost hitting our car on the way to work. How fast we can bounce back from these moments will tell us a lot about one, who we are, how much we have grown spiritually and mentally, but also the likelihood that we become unbelievably successful. And if you're successful right now, even more to a whole different level. You know, one of the interesting common denominators I've found in great operators, CEOs, top athletes, well-known people, public figures, politicians, you name it, is that they all have different views, different backgrounds, different experiences. But one common thing that I notice in all of them is they're very calm. They don't get flustered. It's rare to see them out of shape, stressing about something, talking bad about this person in this situation, and worrying how they're going to ever figure it out. They have a almost childlike confidence and curiosity where they just kind of know it's always going to work out. They're playful, they're fun, they laugh a lot, they're confident, they're great at what they do, and they know when to turn on their focus and intensity. But they don't let the small things bother them. It's very interesting. You know, when I think back on my younger years, especially in high school and early college, I noticed that it was very easy to get me worked up. I would blame my problems and circumstances on my coaches, on the school I went to, on how things were unfair. Early on in my first jobs, I would, get mad at politics. I wouldn't strategize, and I'd always be flustered. And what I noticed is when I finally started taking accountability and realizing that I had the ability to change my life, did everything happen at once? No. But I noticed I got immediate leverage and peace of mind back in my life. And then slowly over the years, it helped me build real tangible success because I was now the author of my story instead of letting other people determine it, which also affects your happiness. My message to you is get back control of your life and stop wasting negative energy and focus and attention on things that don't actually serve you. Okay? So I want to give you an example. Let's say that you have a glass of water on the right and it's full. It's beautiful, clear water. It's amazing. It's on the right. And on the left, you have a glass. But this glass is old. And if you look down the side of it, you see little cracks. And let's say this on the left side is a situation that you're stressing about. It's a person, it's a business, it's something someone said. It's some problem or something you have to solve, right? And instead of investing in your life and your health and your success and your family and your wife or your husband, whatever, all you can think about is this cup that has all these cracks in it. And don't get me wrong, it is somewhat of a problem. But instead of you focusing on growth, you take this perfectly beautiful glass of water and you start pouring it only into the cup that has cracks in it. What happens to your water? It leaks. Does this water actually stay in this cup? No, because you do not have a container that can hold that energy and actually give you a reward, a return on your investment or dividends. You're pouring into something that is not making anyone's life better, not tangibly, but also mentally. You're stressing and worrying about something that will never be able to support what you're trying to give it. I see this all the time when people take a job or they go and become friends with a certain friend group that just doesn't align with who they are. We've all been here in some capacity, right? And you work so hard to get these people to like you, to fit in, to try to move up, to try to buy into the vision of the group. But what happens? Nothing that you do is good enough. You work your tail off, someone comes in that you don't know, that has no experience, they get the promotion before you. What happens is we are investing energy into something that has cracks in it. So before You want to allocate your energy anywhere. Ask yourself this simple question. Am I pouring into a glass that can hold the water that I'm pouring into it? Because this is a problem. We start every morning with a full tank of energy or a certain amount. If we're tired or energized, there's going to be a difference. But you have a finite, certain amount of energy. And we spend it on Instagram. You listen to this podcast. This is a way to do it. To your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, your family, your business. And then eventually by the end of the day, you're tired and you're out of energy and you have to start over. Choose wisely, because we all have the same 24 hours. And if we choose to invest our energy into things that can actually support what we're pouring into it, that's when our life starts compounding in a positive direction. That's when you go from having one or two friends to a community of people that motivate you and inspire you and you're great friends with and you have fun with, and it opens up so many doors for your life. That's when you meet incredible people. That's when you build an incredible business. You don't hire people that don't want to work at your company. You don't invest in them. You invest with people that have a vessel that can contain what you're giving them. This is so important. A simple way to ask this situation, this person, or this goal, do they have a vessel to receive the energy that I'm going to send it? And if the answer is no, pause. Recenter yourself. Do not be needy. And redirect your energy towards growth, towards developing, towards your dreams, towards helping yourself reach the next level. Something that's so cool about life, I was telling this to one of my good friends recently, is that life isn't linear. You do have ups, you have downs. But when you zoom out, a lot of times what happens is it looks like you're going sideways for a long time. You deal with setbacks, your problems, this happens, that happens. But what happens is through that period of growth, intensity, pressure, challenges, you are being cleansed of the negativity and weaknesses that you have. We all have them. I have them, you have them, your mom, your dad, your family. Everyone has certain weaknesses that we have to grow on a spiritual, soul, and personality level. But as we're going through those things, we're being groomed and sanded into our best self. But what's cool, remember if I give you the example about pouring into a glass that doesn't have cracks in it. If you suddenly now have a container that is 100 times bigger, there's water everywhere. There's so much water that it needs somewhere to go. So if your container is suddenly 100x's in size, what is going to happen? That water is going to easily and swiftly go into that container that you can now hold because it doesn't have cracks in it, because you were reformed and groomed into the best version of yourself. And that's when I'm talking about, life's kind of up, down, up, down, up, down. And then there's just a straight moonshot. Just like a stock of a company explodes. A breakout performance of an artist or an athlete or a business or something great, incredible happens. Why does this happen? Because you are now able to receive what already exists. But we cannot grow the container to receive per se, the vessel to receive. We cannot accept all of the great and beautiful things that are in this world if we're constantly directing our finite, minimum, or limited energy towards things that don't actually want to receive your energy, or things that don't even know you're talking or thinking about them. Okay, I'm going to give you an example, all right? Here's 3 signs that you're wasting your energy and potential. Number 1, worrying about what other people think. It's none of your business, and it will never serve you. And if only a few people are talking about you, then you're not really, what's the point? It doesn't even matter. And the people who are talked about the most typically have the biggest impact. It doesn't matter. It's just like art, right? Art is meant to be interpreted. Meaning, just because someone likes or dislikes the painting has more to do with them and their own lenses, their own perspective, than the person that actually created the art. The artist doesn't ask the audience what they should paint. Henry Ford famously said, if I would have asked the customer what they wanted, they would have told me they wanted a faster horse. They don't always know. You have to become the best version of yourself, and then the right people and the right opportunities will show up. Never worry about what other people are thinking. Run your race. Number 2, gossiping about other people. Not only does this cause a reverse effect to happen where you have to experience that same judgment, but you do not move forward, get better, gain opportunities by talking about others. And even just on a practical level, you're actually showing other people that you're likely to gossip about them as well when you're not there. And if someone is always gossiping with you, then I hate to break it to you, but they're probably gossiping about you when you're not there. Keep your mouth closed, only speak highly of people, and never criticize someone in public. That doesn't mean you can't address something. That doesn't mean you can't have a sit down, well thought out, conversation that moves the relationship in a certain way. I'm not saying you can't have that, but don't talk bad about others behind their back. Number 3, constantly discussing things you cannot control. We can only do so much, but the main thing is realizing that we can only control what we do. The best poker players in the world, they don't have some hack that can shuffle the cards or change their card if they're in a bad situation. What do? They adapt the way that they play based on the hand that they have. They fold, they raise, they sit tight, then they raise. They watch their body language, they manipulate the way that they act to influence the other players' behaviors. We have to adapt to the weather. We cannot be mad that it's raining because we have control. We have to build or live somewhere that has shelter to protect it, or go fly somewhere or drive somewhere where it's not raining. We have to be the sole CEO and executor of our life. We can't worry about other things. We have to look at, we are the common denominator. So if we decide to get better and improve and carry ourselves in a different manner, dress different, speak different, have more substance than we had, and even just a week prior, the reality that we will experience will be completely different than the one we had today. It's so cool. And the fastest way to see that we are elevating is watching how strangers treat us when they meet us for the first time, because they are getting a fresh view at you with no baggage. They are reading and responding to your energy and how you carry yourself in real time. So if you notice that the world starts responding to you differently, then it is a sign that you are likely heading in the right direction. Okay, let's talk about signs that you're directing your energy in the right place. Okay, number 1, you constantly invest into your personal growth, not as a band-aid or as medicine, but as a lifestyle. This could be working out, meditation, yoga, therapy, reading, podcasts, mentors, coaches, going on walks, going on retreats of some sort, taking a vacation. These are all things that you can do that make yourself better. You get better, the world does. Always remember that. It's not the things that, for example, just because someone has cool cars, cool watches, that is a byproduct of their success and skill sets. That's why plumbers may have nice cars. Finance CEO may have a nice car. Someone that makes content online might have a nice car. They all do different things, but they elevated themselves enough to make a big enough impact and value that they got things in return. But they are who they are, not because of what they have, but because of who they are. Okay, it's a skill for whatever you guys want to do in life. If you constantly invest in yourself, your life, the people that are in your life, and the results that you get to experience will constantly elevate with you. Okay, a great sign is I want you to think about the people that you've spent your time with, dated, worked with, hired over the last 10 years. And if they have progressively improved quality-wise, nicer, not toxic, that is more a reflection of you than them. That is a sign that you have been growing, because life is a mirror, right? If you go around and say, every girl is XYZ and negative, or every guy is this, or every person I hire in this city is not trustworthy, Now you're going to get a mirror that proves that exact statement. But if you're like, everyone that I work with and work around are trustworthy, motivated, and inspire me to be great, you're going to start having a reflection of that. If your belief is that money comes to you effortlessly and building wealth happens in an instant, then you will experience that reality. So watch your words. Watch where you're directing your energy, because one of the coolest parts is, like, if you want to elevate in life and you want to reach this next level, the first thing you have to do is cut the leakage. Stop sending energy that you could use for anything, for all the things that you want in life, to something that is going to leak and you're going to waste your energy. And when that's not happening, now you got all of this excess energy. You're like, man, what do I do with my time? What do I do? And then you build, you invest, you read, you take action, you make calls, you make connections. And then the flywheel effect starts occurring, where one area, yeah, you start working out more. That doesn't make you money all of a sudden. But what it does do is it makes your mind sharper, more disciplined, more focused. You're happier, you feel better. And all of a sudden, your business calls go better. You start coming up with more ideas. You start meeting and networking people. That's the flywheel effect. Okay? One positive action in one area will cause a ripple effect of positive actions in each other action, or in each other area. Okay, number 2, you don't spend time worrying and you're more focused on taking positive action. Okay? What you think and what you say has so much power in life. But this is exemplified when you put action behind this. This is where momentum in a positive or negative way starts to occur. Okay, so always realize you zero in on what you want. You cut out all the leakage. And then you focus on how do you allocate your energy to there and take massive action. That's when you're going to get new results. And this is going to include good things, and it's going to include negative or things that you have to filter out. And not if, but when those people slip through, those bad moments slip through, when you're at a new level in your new job or new whatever, it's our job to either solve them or continue to redirect our energy to the positive. So we don't spin our energy back to a glass that has cracks in it. Okay? Number 3, you do not let external forces throw you off your game. All right? The more we all elevate in life, the more external factors, distractions, people, entities will try to throw you off. Right? The difference is you are now an expanded vessel that can handle these blows, that can handle these problems. But like I was saying earlier, a common denominator in many successful people in so many different industries is just because something happens, they don't lose their mind. You know, there's a really successful person. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to distract everyone, because he's a big name. They said, how do you handle all these things? This happens, that happens. It's the craziest thing you could ever imagine. And he goes, no one's ever asked me that. He said, you just can't care too much. He goes, you're sitting here, everything's good, it's a random Tuesday, all of a sudden an earthquake kills 30,000 people. Random Tuesday. He's like, it doesn't matter. And there's a playfulness and a childlike quality to winning in life, to where, yes, you work hard, yes, you bet on yourself, but you don't take yourself too seriously. You enjoy the moment. You don't stress, you don't lose your mind, you stay loose, you stay relaxed. That is the mode of a masterful manifester. Someone that can bring in things effortlessly. You know when you're in a great mood and it feels like everything comes to you, you get upgraded. The restaurant was sold out. Doesn't matter, you got a great seat anyways. You get upgraded first class. This happens, that happens. It's usually when you're the most relaxed, when you're the most calm. Focus on those things, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you did, press the hype button, like button, comment below, share it with a friend. And I hope you guys have an incredible week. Also, guys, if you're a business owner, I'm doing a weekly workshop every Tuesday at 5. There's a link below. And then also, if you guys are looking for extra mentorship, you can apply below as well. Most importantly, guys, have an incredible week. Rooting for you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Bye, guys.